This is a mic check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 1. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2. Where's my sound guy? Oh, yeah, there you go. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a thumbs up when you're happy back there. 1, 2, great. Thank you.
You can. We're going to try and go in the next couple of minutes.
To be here.
No, you're the guest on it. You're not Adam. Andy's there. You're there. Andy's there.
Hello and welcome to the weigh-in here in the Matchroom bubble. It's Josh Warrington against Mauricio Lara. You can see that the scales are being set up behind us here. I'll just try and paint the picture for you. The other side of this room is the lunch buffet, and there's a lot of hungry fighters queuing up, waiting for their turn. So they're going to jump on the scales, jump off. We're going to try and catch a word with a few of them as we go. Adam Smith is with me. Adam? You got... I don't think anyone could tell that I was filling there. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I was just chatting to Robert Smith, who's absolutely delighted that we've got boxing back. I mean, isn't it fantastic that we kick off tomorrow night? It's great after a good few weeks away. It's great to have the band back together, the family back together, you know. And it's a tight-knit world, of course. You see Darren Barker behind us with the Lonsdale belt, that beautiful Lonsdale belt that Lee Wood and Reece Moll will be fighting for tomorrow night. Some great fights on the card, and of course Josh Warrington's return, which we're really excited about. It's a massive year for Josh, the Leeds Warrior, in 2021.
Yeah, so points that we're sort of looking out for today. The big one is how Mauricio Lara looks on the scales. Yeah. Traditionally, the journey from Mexico to England, readjusting with the time zones. I mean, he has had notice, but that is a long journey. So it'd be interesting to see how he looks on the scales. But also Josh Warrington, 15 months is a long time. I don't think there are huge worries with him around the weight, but it will be interesting to see how he looks on the scales as well.
Yeah, definitely. We've had one or two wobbles with the weights, haven't we, in fight camp and in the bubbles here, and that's not surprising. I think, listen, it's a change of scene, and obviously the travel has been completely disrupted. However you look at it, whether fighters have got to get here earlier, or whether there's certain days of quarantine, or things could be slightly misjudged. And I think there's no surprise that there has been some weight issues along the road. We've had all sorts of issues. Eddie's calling it Russian roulette, isn't he, about the pandemic and the ability to get the show on and keep the fights coming. Fortunately, all these fights have held together this week, which is brilliant. But you're right, we're looking at the weight, particularly in the main event. We saw Mauricio Lara train last night. He looked fine. He looked confident. He looked happy. He looked like he was hitting the pads pretty hard to me. A little bit novice-y, so I think he knows he's going up in levels, in class against the best featherweight in the world in Josh Warrington. But he was aggressive on the pads, and I hope that he takes the fight to Josh. I think he'll be fine. And Warrington, yeah, he's a consummate professional, isn't he? But he has been at featherweight for a long, long time. He's been out for nearly 16 months, as you said. There's rust to shed probably early on in the ring, and there's obviously the key weight making to deal with in the next few minutes here.
While we're waiting for the fighters to start the weigh-ins, we're thinking that's going to be about 1 o'clock, so not too much longer. We don't usually get access to fighters the night before a weigh-in, so it is nice that Mauricio Lara's team invited us in, but I always have this thing, have they invited us in to show us something? And when they start doing pads, there were times where he obviously hits quite hard. There was a loading up on the pads, and there was a bit of pop in it, perhaps a little bit slower foot. But is he doing that on purpose because he knows that we're filming him and watching? If you're after some clips, go on our social media page, Sky Sports Boxing Twitter page, posted a video of him on there so you can see what we're talking about. I always think, are they that clever that they might actually be hoodwinking us?
Or too clever for their own good. Kidology, isn't it, always on fight week? I remember when Alexander Povetkin was fighting Dillian Whyte back in the summer. And we were around Povetkin, and he was doing extraordinarily slow skipping. And I thought, has he finished? Is this the end of Alexander Povetkin? Well, we found out a few hours later that you don't lose your power and you don't lose your pedigree either. So look, you can read a lot into it. These last sort of couple of sessions are always light, aren't they? And maybe he knew we were in there. I think moreover he probably is what he is. He's a tough Mexican who can crack. I think that's obvious. He's got knockouts on his record, but he's not been in with anybody of Josh Warrington's caliber. Nowhere near. So how's he going to win this fight? And I think he wins it if Warrington has a terribly off night, or maybe he catches him early. And I think what we saw last night was, yes, he is slow of foot, and he did look novice-y to me, but he can hit, and I think that Warrington needs to be careful about that in the first couple of rounds. But I think Josh is a very, very good fighter. He's got better with age, and even though he's had the long time out, and even though the legions of fans won't be there with him on Saturday night, it's his fight to lose, really. I think it's about whether Warrington can make a real statement and entice these guys, the Sam Chu, the Gary Russells, into unifications. He's also talking about going up in weight as well, but he wants to clean up at featherweight first. So that tells me there's no massive weight struggling problems.
Yeah, that actually will be interesting, won't it? I think when fighters start talking about moving up in weight, it is for bigger challenges perhaps, but there are challenges at featherweight that he will want to conquer. Working our way through the card, I think that I speak for everybody, where the fight that perhaps is the one that's got people most divided, let's say that, is Lee Wood and Reece Mould. Reece Mould's team are super confident. Obviously, they share most of the team members with Josh Warrington. It's not a bad team, very successful at the moment with Maxie Hughes in that team as well. But Lee Wood he's not mincing his words. He's saying, I'm above this level, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I want to win the British title. That's an interesting take as well. If you think you're above this level, you can come unstuck.
It's a cracking fight. You know, that Lonsdale belt that Darren Barker had over his shoulder a minute or two ago just brings something out in fighters. It's in many ways, it's one of the most prestigious titles and belts. You know, if you hold that British title, it means something. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? It's got so much history and legacy that goes with it. Obviously, you know, you're a way away from becoming a world champion, and all fighters will dream of that. But a British title to have is really special, and I think it brings out particularly good dust-ups because of it. I think this is an excellent match. I think Lee Wood starts a slight favourite. He's got the experience, you know, he's got good people around him in Dave Colwell and new trainer Ben Davison, who I rate very highly. But then you look at Reece Mould, and he's come up the quiet way just like Josh Warrington did. Same people around him. He's been sparring with Josh rounds and rounds, also with the McDonald twins as well. There's all sorts of ways you can look at this fight. It's the younger guy, you know, who's not got that knowledge, but he's got maybe the freshness and he's come up the quiet way. And, you know, I like the sort of feel of you know, Sean's camp. You know, I think he's got good fighters who've come in under, you know, Josh Warrington's success, and I like the stable there. But then Lee Wood is talking a very big game, and yeah, it's a fascinating one. I think that is probably, certainly in the trade terms, the fight of the night.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of questions there. If Reece Mould hits as hard as everybody says he does, if he hits Lee Wood, the question is Lee Wood going to stand up to that, or is he going to be able to stay away and use his boxing skills? We were talking yesterday, weren't we, about the change in trainer could leave him caught between styles. Ben Davison says he hits super hard, but he was brought and trained in the Ingle gym, where the trick is hit and not get hit, and perhaps throw from unorthodox angles. I think the worry is Lee Wood trying to change something that is too late to change?
It's a good question, but I mean, going back to the sort of power thing, Reece Mould, yes, can hit. So can Lee Wood, you know, and I think maybe he hasn't utilised that through his career so far. He's in his 30s now. He's going to have to start. Will he get, you know, caught betwixt and between? That's a possibility. And I was talking to Ben Davison about that. You know, he hasn't had that long with him. He's really an Ingle-trained fighter, isn't he? You know, boxing and moving and elusive and not getting hit. And now he's going to try and plant his feet a bit. That's going to be fascinating to watch. But he'll be able to listen to Ben very carefully because of the no crowd. You know, you look at Reece. Reece hits hard. I mean, both of them have got their knockout ratios are not extraordinary, but I think they hit harder than that. So I think, you know, they're going to have to both be careful early. Fascinated. Will Reece want to sort of make a statement early, and will he leave a little bit, you know, put a bit too much into the early rounds and leave himself a little short going down the stretch? Whereas we know Lee Wood is mature down the stretch. He had, even though he lost to Jazadeng, he's had that really good performance against him, great against Ryan Doyle. You know, he's had good performances when he's needed them, Lee Wood. And I just wonder if tomorrow night might be one of those. But, you know, or is Reece one of those sleepers that has not had the attention? He's a quiet guy, and he'll come up the Josh Warrington way. It'd be really interesting to see, Andy, because it's a fight that could go either way, and it could give us an absolute classic. It really could.
On our scouting mission to the gym last night, we went in to see Mauricio Lara, and as is always the way with these schedules, it wasn't Lara in there at all, it was Kiko Martinez, but he did let us watch a tiny little bit. The questions around Kiko Martinez are age and hunger. I think from what he said yesterday, the hunger isn't an issue. He is saying all the right things. The question is, he's coming up in weight again. Again, another sort of, you know what you're going to get with Kiko. Is this a fight that Zelfa Barrett may well put down as a really good learning experience? Because you know what you're going to get. He's going to have to fight a pressure fighter who's going to be coming to try and knock him out from the very first bell. Exactly.
I think if he gets through it safely, which you'd expect Barrett to do, to navigate his way because of his quality, but I think he could, you know, early on it's going to be very difficult because Martinez is going to put a lot of pressure on him. Martinez is small, you know, aging now, should figure in Barrett's favour, but it's a really good match.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the SSE Arena here in London, England, for the official weigh-in for Saturday night's great night of boxing action. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, Wow Hydrate, and JD Sports. All the action will be televised live around the world in over 200 countries, here in the UK on Sky Sports, and around the world on The Zone. It's a great night of fights, 6 fights in total, and at this time we're going to go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest that we're going to weigh in today, 6 rounds in the featherweight division. Making his way to the stage, please welcome 5-5 with 2 knockouts from Sandhurst, known as the Matador. Please welcome Johnny Phillips.
Looks well, Johnny Phillips.
123 3/4 pounds for Johnny Phillips.
I saw him in the gym earlier. He was checking his weight, Andy, and he's had 4 weeks' notice, not the 4 days he had last time. He's very happy. He's been training 4 days a week. He's put the roofing business on hold. He's up for this.
His young professional record thus far perfect: 2 fights, 2 victories. He's fighting out of Keithley. Please welcome Ibrahim Ibn Nadim.
Nadim, trained by Ricky Hatton, who came on Sky Sports News earlier. This is an interesting fight. We spoke with Eddie Hearn yesterday about why make this fight. He said because we need to know early if Ibrahim Nadim can fight, and you would think he will prove that against
123
Johnny
1/4
Phillips.
pounds for Ibn Nadim.
Yeah, it's going to be skills against aggression, isn't it? And Ricky wouldn't be messing around and wasting his time without someone he really did believe in. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting watching his progress. He's young. He's got a long, long way to go, and you know, these characters like Johnny Phillips are going to be in front of him to test him, and Phillips is coming to win, so that's the really interesting thing here. He's not some journeyman who's going to tuck up and give him a tough night. He fancies this, and he thinks this is his pathway towards a possible, you know, area title shot or something like that.
6
So,
rounds,
good fight.
featherweights, Ibrahim Nadim, Johnny Phillips.
A couple of words being exchanged there. Love the fact that Johnny Phillips said one of the only main differences in this fight is that he hasn't been able to go on as many sunbeds.
Yeah, he looks a little paler, doesn't he, than he did in the summer.
Yeah, we all did. Fight camp was good to be out in the sunshine.
It was, but really he should be dealing with Phillips if Ricky's young hope is going to make a wave in this sport.
Okay, I don't anticipate that there's going to be too much more of a delay, so I think we'll just hold fire where we are at the moment.
Ricky, of course, looking forward to the professional debut of son Campbell
I asked him about it,
time.
I asked him about it, and he had the dates confused,
did he?
hilariously. Yeah, but to be fair to him, so many dates have been announced, and he does train a lot of fighters. He was trying to work out which one he was on. But obviously, Matthew and
So if
Ricky,
you've got a bit of time today, it is a date today. It's Prince Nassim Hamed's birthday, so we wish him many, many happy returns
Very well said.
for the day, February the 12th, 1974. It's a
Our weighing
date
continues
ingrained in
for the next round of the
in my
evening.
memory.
6 rounds in the featherweight division. Now making his way to the stage, presentando de Chichigalpa, Nicaragua. 11 wins, 11 losses, 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome El Travieso, Daniel Mendoza.
Travieso, that's a nickname that rings a bell with Jorge Arce.
What a fighter Jorge Arce was, and what do we expect here, Andy, from this guy?
Very difficult to say. I mean, short notice doesn't help anyone. Daniel Mendoza yesterday, unfortunately, was described as a Mexican by Eddie Hearn. Obviously, he's actually a Nicaraguan based out of Spain. Let's just hear what they announced here.
122.8 pounds for Mendoza.
122.8. I think he's got a tough night against Hopey Price, and the reason I say it is because Hopey Price so far has looked every bit the professional.
You'll see it at the head-to-head, but the height difference is extraordinary between
And
these
his
two.
opponent now making his way to the stage, the highly skilled and decorated southpaw, undefeated thus far, 3-0 with 1 knockout, fighting out of Leeds, Ivan Drago. Please welcome Hopey Price.
Yeah, I like the look of Hopey Price. We spent some time together out in Saudi when he was on the bill. He was learning the, being part of a massive promotion.
122.9 pounds for Hopey Price.
He looks like a young kid. He's mature though, and he's got Dave Caldwell alongside him. So big hopes for Hopey.
And that gym as well. Just imagine rubbing shoulders with the people that are in and out of that gym day in, day out. Jordan Gill, he was there obviously when Tony Bellew was there. Just he said yesterday, didn't he? I'm a sponge. That's not a bad sort of people to learn from.
Yeah, he said he listens to Dave and he goes and implements what Dave said. He's the perfect student, the perfect pupil, but you know, he's got to shine again. There's always that pressure when you're unbeaten and you're looking to make a statement.
Sophie Price, Daniel Mendoza.
You know, with these smaller bills at the moment, you know, during the COVID crisis, you know, there's a lot of focus, aren't there? A lot of air time, a lot of time to get to know the personalities, and you know that comes with big pressure. But I think Hopi Price can deal with that, Andy.
Yeah, he's got very, very level head on his shoulders, hasn't he? He reminds me of Luke Campbell in one, they both look like choir boys, and Benjamin Button and never get any older at all. Hopi Price looks younger than when he turned pro. But also just, I don't know, it's the first time I saw him box, I thought there's a little bit of Luke Campbell in there.
I think there's some very level-headed young pros at the moment, actually. I think we're about to see another one in Dalton Smith, and it's a good sign, you know. A lot of these have come through, you know, excellent amateur careers, and you know, they've looked at the likes of Anthony Joshua and Katie Taylor and these sort of icons at the top of the sport, and how hard they have worked for what they've got. And they all look good, don't they? And they all sound good.
Now making his way to the stage to weigh in, 11 victories against 3 defeats, fighting out of Birmingham. Please welcome Ishmael Ellis.
Ishmael Ellis was on a job as a gas engineer when he got the call from John Pegg, do you want to jump on this Sky Sports show, first one back of the new season, and face Dalton Smith, and he said yes straight away, so all credit to him.
Absolutely. Well, the gas engineering can wait, can't they? Not often you get a slot on Sky Sports under the lights.
138.9 pounds for Ishmael Ellis.
Yeah, a real opportunity. John Pegg, one of the great guys in boxing, one of the unsung heroes. I saw you having a pretty in-depth chat with him last night.
Yeah, we were talking about matchmaking, funnily enough, and the art form that it is. And with that in mind, that makes me feel a little bit better, because he wouldn't take a chance for someone that he didn't think could give a good account of himself.
Making his way to the stage, he's the fast rising prospect fighting out of the Steel City, undefeated thus far, 6 fights, 6 victories, 5 of them coming by way of knockout. From Sheffield, England, please welcome Dalton Thunder Smith.
6 have tried and 6 have failed with Dalton Smith, and he's got a lot of hype behind him, but so far it's been totally justified.
Could be the pick of the young crop from Britain, this guy, Dalton Smith. I like the look of him.
142.8 pounds for Dalton Smith.
Yeah, he just moves well in a ring. He's obviously got power, level-headed, like we said, with Hopi Price, same sort of temperament. He's got an excellent trainer in his father, and he says, you know, that his feet are on the ground, and he wants to learn. He doesn't want knockover jobs. He wants, you know, he wants rounds, and I think that's the way to do it. That's the education, and there's no better advocate of that than the top of the bill in Josh Warrington.
Once they've completed this head-to-head, hopefully we're going to be given the opportunity to have a very quick interview with Dalton Smith.
10 rounds, super lightweights.
Dalton, just on that mark on the floor there, you can take your mask off for this one. Great to see you. Welcome back. It's not the original opponent that you thought you would be facing, but that's sort of something you've got used to in the amateurs. What do you know about Ishmael Ellis?
To be honest, I've not seen much on him. You know, I just took a little 30-second look at him just to see how he was, and I left the homework to my dad. But like you say, it's not the original opponent I wanted. A few pull-outs here and there, so it's been frustrating. But you know, I'm still fighting on Saturday, so that's the main thing.
What do you want to show us on Saturday night?
I just want to keep improving and showing my class. But you know, tomorrow's my first 10-rounder. The max I've done is 5 rounds, so I've got plenty of time to you know, stay relaxed in there and show my class.
And if you have to do 10, do you think you can do 10?
Oh, 100%.
Top man. Let you go. Thank you very much.
I like the sound of him, Andy. He's great. He's no rush, relax, show his class. All the signs so far we've seen from Dalton, and a long way to go, is that he could go, indeed, a very long way.
Our next contest of the afternoon that we're going to weigh in, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the vacant British Featherweight Championship. Introducing them first to the stage, undefeated, 13 fights, 13 victories, 6 of them coming by way of knockout. He's fighting out of Doncaster, and he's the reigning English Featherweight Champion. Please welcome Reese Mold.
What an opportunity, Andy, for this guy. What a chance.
125 3/4 pounds for Ishmael.
Yeah, perfect. Looks in fantastic shape. Shauna Hagan absolutely delighted there and pumped up on the scales. Reese Mould, I think he's been irritated with what Lee Wood's been saying on social media, and I think that he wants to prove himself. This is the stage.
Yeah, he looks comfortable,
and his
didn't he?
opponent now making his way to the stage, 23 victories against 2 defeats. He has 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Gedling, Nottingham, he's the former Commonwealth and WBO European champion. Please welcome Lethal Lee Wood.
Also in tip-top shape, isn't he, Lee?
125 pounds.
Yeah, I think he's settled at featherweight. He fitted around a bit early part of his career, but he looks in extraordinarily good shape and with a very, very good coach by him in Ben Davidson. They both have terrific trainers. It's going to be really interesting watching the corners at work as well as we guide our way through this 12-round fight. Pick 'em, really.
Yeah, it'd be worth noting who's the taller here, and it is worth noting they both have got pumped up trainers on. There's not much between them though.
Well,
Maybe
Lee's got new hairstyle, hasn't he? Very close to the Nottingham Brigade of fighters, Lee Wood, big mates with Carl Froch.
Championship, Lethal Lee Wood and Reese Mould.
So Reese Mould has jetted straight off. We were hoping to speak to him, but maybe he didn't get the message, or maybe he wants to. I did, but don't worry. It's not the end of the world if he doesn't come back.
I'd like to hear, it'd be nice to hear from him if we can get him back, but he did look slightly. He looked pumped up, didn't he? He looked like he was.
Wouldn't be the first person that didn't want to talk to me after a weigh-in, so.
I don't think it's you, Andy.
You're very kind, Adam.
I think probably he's very, very focused on the job in hand, the battle in hand. I think he's probably off to rehydrate.
Yeah, let him. Yeah. As I said, it's Fish and Chip Friday in the buffet, and I don't want to be between any boxer and their food.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support for Saturday night's big night of boxing action. 12 rounds in the super featherweight division. Now making his way to the stage, 41 victories, 9 defeats, 2 draws, and 29 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Alicante, Comunidad Valenciana, España. Here is the former IBF Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Kiko, La Sensación de Martinez.
Made everybody feel old, didn't he, yesterday?
You know what, he deserves a big applause. He's been a great credit, hasn't he, to world boxing, and especially on these shores. He's fought everybody. Carl Frampton a couple of times, Scott Quigg. Remember, way back in the day when he came over and stunned Bernard Dunn.
128 1/4 pounds for Kiko Martinez.
Still in impeccable condition at 34. You've got to take your hat off to him and his training team. Not the fighter he was, but still dangerous, and dangerous early.
Yeah, I think we all become experts, don't we? But I don't think anybody is going to think that Kiko Martinez early is a bad shout. That's when he's at his most dangerous.
24 victories, 1 defeat, 15 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former Commonwealth and reigning IBF Intercontinental Super Featherweight Champion, fighting out of Manchester, England, Zelfa Brown Flash Barrett.
And a new father.
Barrett.
We have to say as well, congratulations to Zelfa on the birth
Yeah,
of his
congratulations, young daughter. Fantastic news for Zelfa Barrett, and he's a fantastic fighter, I think. I think he could go a long way in this sport. Good come from behind win against Eric Donovan. He's got a terrific trainer in his uncle Pat Barrett. All the skills, and skills pay the bills, Andy, and this is a really, really interesting test for him, because if he can shine, even stop Kiko Martinez tomorrow night, then people are going to have to take him seriously, and he'll be looking to move up to European honours. Pat Barrett, of course, his uncle won European honours, should have, I think, become a world champion. He was that good. Wonder if his nephew will one day.
Zelfa Barrett v. Kiko Martinez, 12 rounds, super featherweight, Saturday night.
Okay, hopefully Zelfa is going to join us very quickly. Zelfa, just on that mark on the floor there, well done. You've made the weight. You've stood opposite Kiko Martinez there. Physical attributes are in your favour. You're taller than him, going to have a longer reach than him. What do you have to do to beat him? You know he's going to be dangerous early.
It's got to be me, you know, stick to the game plan, keep it long, you know, it's not obvious, and, you know, just stay switched on and focused from round one. You know, how he comes out, if he comes to rush me, we're ready for him.
How's your life changed?
Yeah. I'm ready now, just looking at him, looking in his eyes. I'm ready to fight now, you know, let's do it, man.
How's your life changed in the recent times gone by? Just become a father for the first time. Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it. You know, my dad's made a man of me. You know, been a man since a young age. Things happen in life, you know, but it's part of my path. So, you know, just a bit of inspiration, but baby or no baby, this guy ain't going to beat me. I'm going to perform tomorrow.
Very well, best of luck. Just off camera there's off about with a beaming smile telling Adam Smith the details of his new daughter. Pat Barrett still is menacing and looks in such good shape.
You know, he is menacing, but, you know, Sky Sports have gone back a long way. Those days of the Collyhurst and Mostyn and the great Brian Hughes, Pat Barrett was a great fighter. He's got a great guy in his corner.
It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. It'll be live from the SSE Arena, Wembley, here in London, England, and filmed and televised all around the world on Sky Sports and DAZN. Sponsored by Betfred, Wow Hydrate, and JD Sports. It'll be 12 rounds of boxing scheduled in the featherweight division. Introducing up first to the stage, his professional record, 21 victories against 2 defeats. He has 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de San Felipe de Jesus, Ciudad de México. Please welcome Mauricio Lara.
Yes, welcome to the Matchroom bubble here, just opposite the SSE Wembley Arena. Mauricio Lara says he wants to come here and beat the #1 featherweight in the world, and here he is on the scales, Adam Smith.
It's a wonderful opportunity for the man from Mexico City. Terrific shape, and we saw him on the pads last night. Mauricio Lara can punch, a bit novice-y. It's a huge step up in class, nothing to lose, and he's got to go for this.
Looks good on the scales, inside the 9-stone weight limit there, and he's been all smiles all week. Sometimes you look to see is the event, is the occasion getting to someone that's not been at this level so far. No evidence of that.
No, he's been calm and confident all week. Good team around him. But this guy's special.
30 fights, 30 victories, 7 of them coming by way of knockout. He is the first and only world boxing champion fighting out of and proudly representing his home of Leeds in the United Kingdom. Please welcome the former IBF featherweight champion of the world, Josh, the Leeds Warrior, Warrington.
Josh, playing on the fact that the Leeds Warrior fans that would have packed this place out aren't here today.
I love it. I love it. I've liked Josh for many, many years since we first went to do a ringside piece on him back in the day.
125.5 pounds for Josh, the Leeds Warrior, Warrington.
He's a great character. He's now a family man. And he's still got all the fire, hasn't he? And the intent now to go and unify the featherweight division and really prove himself as one of the greatest fighters in the world, not just at featherweight, but this is a potential banana skin. He's been out of the ring, Andy, for 15 months. You know, he should be a league above Lara in terms of class, knowledge, ability, experience, but you never know. The crowd isn't there this time. He's back in a ring and he's got a job to do.
And he is super
Josh
pumped.
Warrington,
He's supercharged here, Josh Warrington.
12 rounds featherweights.
Well, he's taken this experience well, hasn't he, Lara? He's up for this.
Josh, you can take your mask off for this one. How do you feel? You've just weighed in there. We thought that you'd be full of emotion and charged up. There's no fans to roar back at you though today.
In my head there is. I'm in Leeds Town Hall, or I'm in Leeds City Museum, and there's thousands here. In my head there is. Listen, mentally, I'm really focused. Probably more focused than I was yesterday. You know, I think coming away from the press conference yesterday, just reminding myself that, you know, that I've got to fight it right here. This guy boxed 4 times last year. He's 22. I'm 30. You know, he's got no pressure whatsoever. And the name Mel Bronco, I don't know what it translates to. It's scary. It's scary. You know, and he's beaten a lot of people with winning records, and I didn't state that too much yesterday. He's got power. He's got like over the 50% knockout ratio. It's better than mine. I've got 7 KOs in 30 fights, so listen, I've got my hands full. But I'm ranked number 1 in the world, and you don't get ranked number 1 in the world for turning up in presses and fantasy suits or in thousands of fans there. You get there by fighting and beating the best. Got to continue that on Saturday.
I saw some quotes from you, love them, that you saw a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo, and you're like, that's what a professional does, that's what I aspire to be. The shape of you there, I mean, we weren't expecting anything different, but it just shows how serious you are still taking this, even behind closed doors in the lockdown.
What I lack in talent, I make up for with hard work, dedication. I mean, it gets plastered all over social media. People listen to Floyd Mayweather chanting it, but that is me. I live the life, and it's a small window. I've read autobiographies of many boxers, and I don't want to live with regret. I want to keep on trying to be the best that I can be. And right now, I'm in the pinnacle. I mean, I could make history, be in history books. I already have done, but even more so. I want to be the very best Josh Warrington that I can be, so when I retire, I have no regrets. So if that means 365, 24/7, I'll do it, and I'll live the life.
You have Leeds tattooed on your body. You're proud of where you're from, and where you're from is very proud of you. You've made a special tribute on Saturday with what you're going to have on your shorts. Just want to expand on that and tell us all about it.
Yeah. So last year when I signed back with Eddie and Sky, you know, with the talks of the big fight with Kanju at Headingley Stadium, we had a press conference down there, load of excitement. There was a gala dinner because Rob Burrow's condition had been made to the public, and we went down. We auctioned off a belt. It raised a fair bit of money there, and I got a chance to have a little word with Rob, and it seemed fitting at the time. You know, if we were fighting at Headingley, Rob, would you do me the honour of walking me to the ring? And he said, you know, he said he would do, and he was more able, you know, speaking fairly pretty well then. Obviously, a couple of factors have come in. His conditions got a little worse, and obviously we're fighting behind closed doors, and he can't be here, but he's there in spirit with us. I've got him on my shorts, and normally I do have a Leeds legend walking me to the ring, whether it be football, rugby. They can play bloody tiddlywinks. If they represent the city and they follow me, then I'm behind them all the way. So it's just a little recognition of the main man there.
Did you want to address him directly? We'll get this clipped up on our Twitter and get it to him, tag him in it.
Yeah, listen, Rob, you're a massive inspiration, and you keep fighting, my mate. You keep staying strong, because already you've proved that it don't come down to, you know, natural abilities or natural what's the word? You made the best what you can do with your skill set and determination, and I see that, and I'm inspired by it. And the fighting, you inspired everyone in the city, so and in the country. Stay strong, my mate.
Yeah, everybody echoes those words. Just one more before I let you go. The lights come down. It's just you and Mauricio Lara. What's the ideal scenario tomorrow?
Listen, first and foremost, Josh Warrington win. All I need to do. I'm anxious about it because I realise how important this fight is. I need to win. All the talk of the unification, the big fights goes out the window if I don't win. So a win is the main thing. But if an early night comes, Andy, I'll take it.
Go well. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. I'd bring in Adam Smith. I mean, that almost concluded our weigh-in stream here. No dramas. no dramas. He speaks. It was, and not just everyone at Sky Sports here. Everyone. I think every sports fan that watches that will echo those words.
Wonderful words from Josh Warrington. He's a real guy. He's a real man, and that's wonderful that he sent those great messages, and he'll be there on his shorts. I think that's tremendous. He is Leeds, isn't he? And Leeds is, you know, wonderful sports city, as we know, with the football, with the rugby league, with so much, and we can't wait for those days to go back there and the town hall to be crowded, the whole city to be buzzing on a Friday night, and maybe Saturday, you know, you get a 25,000 at Headingley or Ellen Road or wherever. It'd be absolutely amazing. But of course, we're a long way from that at the moment. So Josh he's got the stage now. He's back. He's got the chance to really kick off 2021 in style. No fights in 2020. Okay, he's got time to make up a little bit, and he needs a performance on Saturday night, and I think he'll get it. I think he'll be determined. I think he might have to weather a little bit of early pressure, and he might have to work him out. But I think he might be true to his words that an early night might be in store. But you never know. You never know with these unknown quantities that come over. As he said, he's got a better knockout ratio than him. He's beaten fighters with his power. He's got nothing to lose. He's young. No one's expecting him to turn over Josh Warrington tomorrow night. But we know that boxing in 2020 was weird and that there were upsets all over the place. So take nothing for granted. But if you look at him, he just seems and sounds a mature professional who knows he's the #1 featherweight in the world, and he won't want to let that slip tomorrow night.
Very well said. Thank you for joining us. As Adam said there, saying all the right things. The questions will be tomorrow night in the ring under the bright lights. But thank you very much for everyone that's joined us. As I said at the top, it is Fish and Chip Friday in the Matchroom bubble, and the queue for the buffet will only be getting longer. So thank you very much to everybody that's joined us on these streams, and make sure you join us for all the action tomorrow night.